What's up, y'all? Sparta here, and I want to do my Samsung Galaxy S7 review. Now, as a part of my review, I just want to get one thing out of the way. I don't hate Samsung. I don't hate any company. As a matter of fact, I just want to, get my opinions out there as I should, because I paid money for this phone as everybody else except pretty much reviewers do. And I don't know why this phone doesn't want to stay focused. And I just want to give my full opinions on it without, without sounding like a shill. Every phone has its upsides and its downsides. And for me in particular, and in my opinion, a lot of reviewers tend to go off of how the phone looks and feels in the hand rather than the overall feel with the user experience. And I think the subtitle of my review is just going to be Beauty Isn't Everything. And this phone is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's a gorgeous phone. This black onyx finish is very nice. It refracts in the light very well. Light does makes this phone look like a jewel, for Christ's sake. Not as much as a jewel as like my Note 5, because that black sapphire is probably my favorite color of the Samsung phones. But first, I guess I'll just get it out of the way and talk about build quality. This glass-on-glass construction feels really good, but it smudges and it scratches easily. The aluminum frame is nice. It's nice and, sturdy. It doesn't feel like the phone's gonna creak. The physical home button is nice and clicky. It works well. For some reason, while I'm on video, it wants to work flawlessly. But one thing that I want to get out the way mainly is God damn it, is how the user interface when you're not using a different launcher, or even when you are using a different launcher. See how long that took after I pressed the app drawer button for it to come up? It is not the BlackBerry launcher, because I use this on my Note 5 and it doesn't do that. But for some reason on here it does that. Samsung has never been particularly good with optimization as far as like their software goes. Their user interface. I gotta look it up. Home. No, I expected it to do that. I really did. And even on its stock launcher, for some reason it wants to be really like fast. But let me open a few apps here. It doesn't like react. It doesn't react to my physical touch very, well. My V20 tends to do that better. Like when I open an app and then, close out of it quickly. And I'm not trying to say that the phone is like, it lags everywhere, but for some reason it tends to lag a bit more than my Sony Xperia XA. I mean, the user interface runs at a better frame rate, but it doesn't run consistently at a consistent frame rate. Let me go to, not system updates. I didn't. I don't think I did the. Could have sworn I did it on here. Keep pressing that. Hold on, real quick. Now let me show you exactly what I did. What I did was I exited the app, and it just dropped a whole bunch of frames. And as you can see, it doesn't keep a consistent, like, 60 frames. Like, it jumps a bit across the user interface, despite the fact that I'm not really doing much. And let me just close all these apps. Just to show you what I mean. And it's still, like, jumping up and not staying at a consistent 60 frames. Which, honestly, is not too bad. I'm not saying that it, for some reason, while on video, it wants to be very, smooth, and it doesn't want to jump how it does when I'm using the phone regularly. All my phones are going off, sorry. Phones and tablet. It doesn't want to, do what it regularly does. As you can see, when I even press the fucking, power button, it has a delay. You have to press it like maybe 3-4 times for it to actually want to, work. And the fingerprint scanner works well, As I said in my versus video, I don't think I didn't touch on it. As I will say in my versus video, versus this in the V20, this is a passive fingerprint scanner, while on the V20 it's always on. So you actually have to press the button, which is whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. But as you can see, you can't really tell the frame rate jumping. It works just fine for me, honestly. Let me turn the screen down a little bit up. And as you can see, it works pretty well. Now I'm going to get into a game real quick. Give me a minute. All right, now, I just want to say this right off the bat. The phone is already getting pretty warm. Which heat dispersion on a fucking glass on glass constructed phone isn't really that great. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But I don't know why this phone doesn't want to stay focused. Look, man. I should have just used manual mode because this is acting really stupid. The only reason I'm not using manual mode is because I'm about to put some clips into this from the S7 for like video and stuff. But yeah, as you can see, it runs pretty well. And the wallpaper just had to reload there, but that's whatever. That tends to happen with a lot of stuff. But I'll open another game here real quick, just to have it open and just to test the RAM. It has 4 gigs of RAM. And as you can see by my wallpaper, the screen does get really bright. Like, AMOLED displays are famous for that. Now, anyway, ever since maybe like the S4, S5, they've been brighter, if not as bright as LCDs. Or as bright, if not brighter than LCDs. LG's LCDs, anyway. But yeah, as I said, this display gets really bright. And it's very vibrant and colorful and looks nice. I just don't like oversaturation because with Samsung phones in particular, they tend to oversaturate photos. But let me get something to focus on. Like, this phone does focus really fast. Really fast, and that's really cool. But it doesn't, the double tap to open the camera isn't consistent, as you saw there. It'll like jump and lag, even though the app is already open. But I'm not here to bash it. Now I want to talk about the water resistance here. I tend to use this phone when my V20 and my XA, and I guess now I can say my Shield tablet is charging. Because of its water resistance, I take a bath and just like, use it because I don't have to be afraid of it being, destroyed. Now, do I value water resistance? Really? No. For me personally, it's a novelty. It's a novelty feature, but it's still fun nonetheless. It's still a good feature, rather. I'm not going to say that it's not a deal breaker if a phone doesn't have water resistance. It never has been. Like my XA doesn't have it, despite the fact that damn near every Sony phone has it. But it's not a deal breaker for me. As long as I can use a phone while like it's raining and the screen doesn't wig out, I don't care. But I'm going to get to speaker test, which I also did in my versus video, but just for those who didn't watch that, I guess I'll just play some Weekend. I don't know why my it doesn't have as much like detail as my like V20 does, but it blows the XA speaker out of the water. The XA speaker gets muffled even when you're not even like have your finger over it. And this gets plenty loud. It's not as loud as like the Note 5, but it's good enough. The headphone quality on this is decent. It'll get you by. But if you're like coming from like the V10 or something, or even like an HTC phone, you're not going to be blown away. You're not going to be amazed. It's just, as I said, it's going to pass you by. And I don't know why my capacitive buttons were still lit up. But I wish there was a way to like turn that off in the settings. Because for some reason, even now, it's fucking still on. But it's whatever. Because it draws battery. And I would much rather have it so that they stay off. Because I already know where they're at. This phone isn't too damn big. But I guess I'll get into messaging and just show you guys how texting works. This is going to be my test from now on. Like, just pressing random buttons. Seeing how long it takes until it lags out. And I will post like video and photos like I did with my V20 review within the review itself. This isn't like the old days with like even the G2 where when you start texting a lot, and having like a Bible, you're writing a Bible to somebody, it's not gonna like lag out. The phone is getting pretty warm, but that's because I have a whole bunch of shit open. I thought that said KKK. This is ICICI. But yeah, you won't really have to worry about it's slowing down while you're typing. And I'm trying to make this into one whole video. That's why I'm like being short with some shit, because when my V20 review was 2 parts and I don't want that anymore. But what else am I going to talk about? Camera quality. The camera on here is great. It's amazing. Samsung's known for having good cameras. I wouldn't say it's the best. It's the best auto camera, as I've said with like my Note 5. It's a better auto camera than my V20. But at the same time, my V20 is no slouch. When I do my Versus video, I took pictures at my birthday at Dave & Buster's. It was my 21st, so you guys are gonna see drinks and shit, but you guys will see that there's really no difference, honestly. Both are great. One just focuses faster than the other sometimes. Like the V20 could actually be really fast and catch up to this, but this one's more consistent with being fast. Battery life has been good. For a Samsung phone, it's actually been really good. Like, it's on par with my Note 5. Well, they have the same size battery, so it makes sense. But as far as like everything else, this is a great phone. You know, I think it's top 3 to 4, and I'll probably make a list on that. It would probably be V20, this, Note 7, if Note 7, then this, if the Note 7 didn't blow up, G5, Pixel if I had it, HTC 10, Moto Z. It would probably be like that. And Sony Xperia XA, because it actually is a fair contender. It actually does a lot of things really well. And I'll say that, and I'll state that in my review. But I gotta eat before I do that review. But yeah, that's been pretty much it. My Versus vid will cover stuff more in depth. This is the heart rate sensor. And I'll just talk more about the stuff. Over time, my buttons got a little bit are getting a bit wobbly. You probably can't see it, but they're getting a bit like, you know, loose. Not to the point of them like falling out or anything, but the phone still feels sturdy. Still feels like I can, you know, bend it, even though I'm never going to do that. But if I were to give this phone a rating, I'd give it like an 8.5. And I'd give like the V20 a 9. But overall, the V20, then this, since the Note 7 is out of commission, then as I said, down the line. But yeah, that's been pretty much it. As I said, I'll cover more in my Versus video. I'll probably just put all the pictures into that video rather than putting them in here, because it would be easier that way, honestly. But yeah, this has been Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what else you guys want to see, and have a good one. I also want to say that I will be doing the same type of test that I did with my V20. You know, the gaming and the user interface, you know, showing what you can do with it and stuff like that. I'm going to do that. I just don't want to put it all in one video. That's pretty much it. That's the only reason why you just see me cover basics. But as I said, my subtitle will be beauty isn't everything. This phone is gorgeous, like I said, but there are a lot of problems with it that Samsung needs to resolve before I consider, going to a Galaxy for my next main phone. The AMOLED display is amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But it's not my favorite technology due to the fact that they oversaturate, as I say. And they don't really save battery life. Because despite what you think, you're not always on your home screen or on your lock screen. You're not. And as well as the always on display, it only shows first party stuff. Now, I know an update will have it so that it shows everything, but I don't have that update yet. It's brighter than like the G5. The V10 is as bright, but it shows more. And the G5's always on display shows more. So they're pretty much like, it's like if you just, but I like this whole like having a calendar right here because I tend to forget what day it is, the date anyway. So I just have it like that. But as I said, I love this phone. I wish it had USB-C. I really do. But you can't really wish for everything. I understand that they wanted to have micro USB for their new Gear VR. So I get it. And I'm not going to fault them for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this too long, as I said. As I said, this would be an 8 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. It's not going to be a 10 or a 9. If anything, the only thing that I really don't like about it is that it's smaller, which has its downsides and its upsides. I like how I can use it with one hand if I really want to. But I also prefer to have a bigger display because I can see more and do more on it. Which is why I should have got the S7 Edge, but every S7 Edge I saw on eBay were they were jacked up. Like they looked like they got like punched by Mike Tyson or just shot or like punctured by some shit. Like I was not about to go with that. So I just went with this. Sure, it has a hairline crack, but it's whatever. But yeah, that's been it. Thank you guys for watching and have a good one.